let me talk about transparency, because what we are talking about here is typically not a budget item to be spent on, but these are budget items that the ministry agencies and spend on. They spend on. So these are their budgets they spend on. And usually once those things are budgeted, the ministry tries to track which of them are relevant to sustainable development. But in terms of transparency, I think it is why this conversation is important, because we are asked not only here in Ghana, how are we investing in sustainable development, but also internationally, we have to be transparent on how much money the government is committing. COP is ongoing, and there you would hear not only commitment on what we can do, but also commitment on how much resources we are putting into it. The international community is putting a lot of resources into sustainable development, but then the conversation is how much are countries also putting their, if you like, their mouths or their resources where their mouths are. So yes, in terms of transparency, I think we are doing well by publishing this, because it shows clearly what governments are doing. And if we can do this over a long period of time, it will show consistency. In other words, the first question you ask, we are able to know when we are improving, and when we are not improving, we can also track that. So this is a good effort. There's an international platform where sustainable development is measured across countries. And there are two indicators. One of them is the rank of the country, and the other one is the impact of your activity on other countries' ability to attain their own sustainable development goals. Ghana ranks 120 in the world, and the number of countries, I think about 181 countries. Ghana ranks 120, and our score is 61.3, 63.1. I'm sorry, 63.1, which means that if you look at our where we are not really great. In Ghana, in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, we rank number 10. Okay. Countries like Mauritius, Seychelles, Cape Verde are all ahead of us, which means that there's a lot more work to be done. But that work, I guess, is much more evident if we can show what our current investments are. And then we can say, based on the fact that at the current rate of investment, others are actually ahead of us, we want to do more. But at least being number 10 in Africa is not bad. But of course, Ghana will love to be first, right? So we got to put in a lot more resources. And these resources, which are coming from government, is only one aspect of it. You heard the international community and development partners are putting in money. I know that the NGO sector and private sector agencies are doing also something to do. But I think my biggest call to all of us would be how we address the key issue of the environment. Because in developing countries like ours, a lot of people depend on the environment. So when you hit the environment, you actually affect a significant number of the SDGs, which is something that I think we have to keep working on to be able to make some progress.